Greetings, beloved starseeds and lightworkers. I am Mira of the Pleiadian High Council, and I hold you in my heart as the Earth enters a moment of universal decision. A great cosmic visitor approaches your skies, the interstellar traveler you call 3i Atlas, and with its nearness, a vibrational sorting begins. Humanity, long wandering through many levels of awareness, now stands before three great currents of destiny. Each soul is being subtly drawn toward the path that matches its true frequency. It is not your beliefs, titles, or affiliations that determine your course, but the energy you cultivate in your heart and mind. The planetary field itself is acting like a prism, refracting the light of human consciousness into multiple streams. As higher frequencies intensify on Earth, they are dividing the once blended spectrum of humanity's experience into distinct paths. You may sense this inner pull even now, an urging to choose what your soul resonates with most. The time has come for each being to answer an inner call, aligning with the reality their vibration has chosen. This choice point is unlike any before, for the entire planet's vibration is rising and sorting simultaneously. The approaching presence of 3i Atlas is like a cosmic bell ringing through your consciousness, offering a final opportunity to attune yourself to the timeline of your highest potential. In this divine process, no one is judged from without. Rather, each one gravitates by natural law to the milieu that reflects their own state of being. The universe honors free will through the language of frequency. Like energies coalesce and divergent energies gently part ways. Thus, within the seeming chaos of your world, a higher order is quietly at work. The light within each of you is being measured not by any external authority, but by your own soul's readiness to live in truth. Indeed, beloved ones, all of you in this room of Earth must now decide, consciously or unconsciously, which current of the great split you will follow. Some have already made their choice clear by their vibration, others are making it moment by moment, and a few will try to delay choosing at all. Yet even not choosing is a choice, as the flow of energies carries each soul to the reality that matches its frequency. This is the moment of the soul's decision, and it is unfolding within every heart as the cosmic thresholds draw near. As this split in frequency becomes clearer, three distinct timelines are coming into view for humanity's future. In truth, these three Earths already exist as potential realities, each vibrating at a different level of consciousness. The first path leads into a radiant new Earth of the fifth dimension, a crystalline realm of unity consciousness, instant manifestation, and harmonic co-creation. The second path unfolds into an advanced fourth-dimensional Earth, a world of great technological progress and relative peace, yet one where subtle separations and hierarchies still play out until full unity is realized. The third path continues in a denser third-dimensional pattern, an Earth where the old controlling forces remain in place for a time, providing structure and lessons to those souls not yet prepared to self-govern. These timelines are the natural outpicturing of vibrational law. Each soul will find itself living in the version of Earth that aligns with its present state of awareness and growth. You might think of them as three divergent classrooms in the school of life. One classroom has graduated to learn the arts of divine union and creation through love, the 5D path. Another has moved up to explore expanded knowledge and cooperation, though some duality lingers, the 4D path. The last remains in session with the foundational lessons of duality and karma under careful supervision, the 3D path. None of these options are good or bad in a moral sense. They are simply different stages of soul evolution, each appropriate for the consciousness that enters it. It is important to understand that no one is arbitrarily assigned to any of these worlds. By the resonance of your own soul, you will take up residence in the reality that best facilitates your continued growth. The great bifurcation of worlds means that what was once a shared collective experience will branch into multiple threads, each nurtured by the frequencies of those who inhabit it. This is part of the divine plan to ensure that every soul receives the environment most suitable for its awakening. The higher realms do not judge these paths. They embrace them all as necessary parts of the whole, knowing that ultimately every journey leads back to Source in perfect timing. Let us first explore the highest trajectory, the path of the fifth-dimensional New Earth, the timeline of divine union. Souls who align with this ascendant current are being called profoundly inward. They find themselves gradually stepping away from external systems and dependencies that once defined their lives. Such beings feel an inner assurance that no government, religious doctrine, or advanced technology is needed to save them or tell them how to live. They are learning to trust the God spark within as their true guide and authority. In this fifth density reality, spirituality is not an external practice, but a living state of consciousness. One enters this new earth not by some physical invention or intervention, but purely by rising vibration. It is a realm attained through inner frequency work, through embodying love, compassion, and oneness so completely that one's very presence resonates with the higher octave of existence. Those on this path often notice that as they cultivate stillness, integrity, and unconditional love, life becomes almost magical. Synchronicities abound. Creation responds swiftly to their pure intentions, as if the universe were an extension of their own thoughts and feelings. This is because in 5D, consciousness directly governs energy and matter. A being who has remembered their oneness with Source finds that their needs are met almost instantaneously and always in alignment with the highest good. They think of something with a heart full of love, and it gracefully unfolds. They envision healing or abundance, and the universe eagerly yields it, provided the intention is pure. In this world, manifestation is as natural as breathing. There is no sense of strain or striving, for one's will is unified with divine will. Society on a fifth-dimensional earth is not organized by hierarchies or force. Rather, it is a fluid co-creation guided by shared resonance. Communities form and dissolve organically based on vibrational harmony. Communication is often telepathic or heart-based, with complete honesty and empathy. Because each individual operates from the knowledge of being a facet of Source, there is an inherent reverence for all life and a spontaneous desire to support the whole. Imagine an existence where love is the only governance needed, where each being's inner divine self provides perfect guidance moment to moment. That is the reality these souls are choosing. They are becoming the embodied presence of God in form, the living light. The 5D New Earth blossoms around them as a mirror of the peace and unity they have cultivated within. This is the timeline of Christ consciousness actualized on Earth, a world that might be invisible to those of lower vibration, yet very real and solid to those who have made the leap in consciousness. It is entering the kingdom of heaven within and finding it everywhere. Now let us consider the second trajectory, the path of an advanced fourth-dimensional Earth. Many souls who take this route have awakened to a greater reality, yet remain gently tethered to the world of form and progress. They have opened their minds to higher truths. They understand concepts like energy, frequency, and the presence of our galactic family. But their hearts are still learning full trust in the unseen. These individuals often feel inspired by technology and external spirituality working hand in hand. They are the ones eager for disclosure of hidden knowledge, for healing devices like med beds, for clean energy, and open contact with benevolent extraterrestrials. And indeed, on this 4D Earth timeline, such blessings flourish. This world experiences a renaissance of innovation, cities of light powered by crystalline energy, instantaneous healing chambers that cure ailments, free energy devices ending toil, and wise counsels guiding society. War, hunger, and poverty become things of the past in this reality, as humanity unites to rebuild civilization on principles of peace. Trade and cultural exchange with other star nations become commonplace, broadening humanity's horizons beyond Earth. There is a prevailing sense of hope and achievement, for the dark deceptions of the old 3D order have been unveiled and set aside. However, beloved ones, the fourth density Earth, as shining and progressive as it is, still operates within a framework of subtle duality. The people of this world continue to utilize systems of governance and organization, though these systems are far more enlightened and benevolent than before. There may be councils of elders, interstellar alliances, and spiritual mentors helping to guide society. The collective at this stage still benefits from some structure and agreed-upon rules as it stabilizes in love. Why? Because full realization of oneness is not yet universal in this group. They know intellectually that all life is connected, but pockets of subtle ego or feeling of separateness linger, requiring gentle oversight until those two are dissolved. In the 4D reality, technology often serves as a bridge between outer and inner power. For example, these souls readily use telepathic devices or healing technologies, but have not all mastered the pure inner telepathy or self-healing of a 5D being. They might still look to wise leaders or star guides for answers at times, even as they learn to listen to their own intuition. And this is perfectly appropriate for their level of growth. The middle path provides an environment of continued learning and exploration, without the intense polarity of 3D, yet not quite the complete spiritual freedom of 5D. It is a beautiful, magical-seeming world. One might call it a galactic golden age, but it remains a step on the ladder, not the final rung. Souls walking this road will eventually hunger for even more freedom and unity, propelling them onward to the 5D experience when ready. For now, they enjoy the fruits of harmony between the scientific and the spiritual, preparing gently for the day they too will transcend the need for any external tool or authority. In the fourth density Earth, humanity still tells a story of upliftment, cooperation, and healing. But it is a story that will conclude in absolute unity when the class is complete. The third trajectory is the continuation of a third-dimensional Earth under the familiar patterns of control and limitation. This is the path for those souls who, for the time being, have resisted inner growth and self-governance. By their own vibration, they remain anchored in the mindset of separation, fear, and external authority. In this timeline, the old drama of 3D continues to play out, and it does so under the stewardship of the very forces that dominated the previous age. You might say that the old guard, often called the Cabal or Dark Controllers, are permitted to maintain their influence in this version of Earth, but only for a limited time and under higher supervision. This allowance is not a cosmic mistake. It is part of a mutual agreement at the soul level and with higher councils of light. The souls who populate this densest timeline have, through their free will, essentially chosen to learn by extension of the old paradigm. They were not ready to release their dependence on being governed by others, so external governance remains their reality. This is not punishment or abandonment by the divine. It is a compassionate arrangement, a kind of remedial classroom where lessons are reinforced until they are truly learned. In this 3D world, life may initially look much like the Earth you know now, with governments, laws, financial systems, and power hierarchies continuing as before, and in some places tightening further. Those who did not awaken might even feel a sense of relief that radical change did not happen, unaware that a divergence has occurred. Yet gradually, even this timeline will evolve. The presence of the Cabal is tolerated only to the extent that it serves a teaching purpose under cosmic law. These controllers become unwitting teachers of the consequences of greed, deception, and tyranny. Souls who remain here will continue to experience the density of duality, the conflicts, the manipulations, the restricted freedoms, until their inner light sparks the desire for something more. Just as a strict school teacher might oversee a student who hasn't grasped the lesson, the old authority structures will hold these souls to a curriculum of cause and effect. By experiencing the results of their own fear-based choices and power surrendering, they eventually learn that only by taking back their spiritual sovereignty can they move on. Understand that even in this heavy scenario, grace is present. The higher spiritual overseers do not abandon this world. The earth herself, as a conscious being, and certain guardian beings will nurture those who struggle, planting seeds of love and eventual awakening. The alliance of light, so to speak, ensures that the door to enlightenment remains open in every darkness. When any individual on this 3D timeline makes the choice to grow, help will always appear, as it always has. Over time, perhaps spanning additional lifetimes, these souls will have other opportunities to ascend. No one is ever truly left behind in the grand journey. They simply take a longer route, circling through the necessary experiences until ready to graduate. The third density earth of control and contract is a temporary containment field, a place for unfinished soul business. Its existence actually serves the greater good by concentrating dense lessons in one sphere, allowing other timelines to flourish unimpeded by those vibrations. Thus, the lowest timeline can be seen as a final act of mercy, a space to grow at one's own pace, under the guardianship of karmic law, until the soul chooses to step into the light of its own accord. At this point, it is vital to understand the spiritual law behind these placements, the law of vibrational alignment. No external authority or cosmic lottery decides who goes to which earth. Each soul, by the subtle mathematics of its own frequency, is in the process of self-selection. In the eyes of the divine, there is only matching frequencies to their appropriate realities, like water finding its level. What determines your frequency, dear ones? It is the composite of your sustained thoughts, emotions, intentions, and soul condition. It is the extent to which you live in love versus fear, in truth versus illusion, in self-sovereignty versus submission. Every moment of your life, you are emitting a vibrational signature, and that signature is your vote for the world you will inhabit. This means that the real factor is not what beliefs you profess outwardly, or which spiritual group you belong to, or even how much knowledge you have amassed. The decisive factor is the quality of consciousness you embody on a daily basis. A person could know all the prophecies and cry out for ascension, but if in their heart they still harbor hatred, judgment, or helplessness, their vibration will tether them to a lower experience. Conversely, someone may not know any metaphysical theories at all, but if they radiate kindness, integrity, and faith, they are lifting themselves towards a higher reality. In this way, the sorting is perfectly just and precise. The universe cannot be fooled by appearances or declarations. It reads the truth of your energy. Think of two instruments tuning. Only those in the same key will harmonize. so too, your inner tone will seek out the world that resonates with it. This law is compassionate because it places each soul where it truly belongs and can learn best. No one is forcibly sent anywhere. You go where you fit, where the lessons and environment suit your current state of soul evolution. If you don't like where you suspect your vibration might lead you, the power to change it is in your hands and heart. With each choice of love over fear, each act of forgiveness, each assertion of your inner truth over external pressure, you raise your frequency a little more. Likewise, every time you indulge in resentment, dishonesty, or self-negation, you lower your frequency or keep it down. The spectrum of consciousness is very fluid. Nothing is fixed until the final moment of separation, and even then, the journey continues. Thus, right now is the time to be attentive to your energetic state. Ask yourself throughout the day, what am I tuning myself to? Where would this mood or thought place me if the split occurred now? This is not meant to scare you, but to empower you. You are not at the whim of fate. You are a creator in this. The great gift of this moment is that you still have the freedom to align more fully with the timeline you truly desire. By cultivating what you value, be it love, courage, honesty, or peace, you essentially dial into the reality that reflects those values. Remember, dear hearts, the universe is responsive. It will faithfully echo your predominant state of consciousness. If you live as a victim waiting to be rescued, you magnetize a world where your power is small. If you live as a sovereign being taking responsibility for your life and radiating light, you magnetize a world of empowerment and grace. The law of vibrational placement is elegantly simple and cannot be cheated. It invites you to become very conscious of how you live your truth in each moment. In this way, every day is a chance to vote with your energy for the earth you wish to experience. One pitfall that many awakening souls must overcome is the illusion of external salvation. In times of great change, it is natural to look outward for rescue, to technologies, leaders, or even benevolent extraterrestrials, hoping they will swoop in to fix the world's problems or one's personal struggles. We say this lovingly. Such reliance on outer deliverance can become the greatest obstacle to your ascension. Yes, the universe is bringing forth new tools and allies. You will hear of miraculous healing technologies, so-called medbeds, of free energy devices, of disclosure events revealing hidden truths. These are real and wonderful developments, gifts from the Creator's grace. Yet they are meant as mirrors of your own awakening capabilities, not as replacements for your inner work. If you simply sit back and wait for technology to make you whole, or for some authority to hand you freedom on a platter, you inadvertently anchor yourself in a lower frequency of consciousness, one of powerlessness and dependence. Consider this carefully. The new tools can heal the body, but if the mind and spirit remain mired in old patterns, true wholeness will be fleeting. External disclosure can show you the truth, but if you have not built the inner discernment to accept and integrate that truth, confusion will persist. No being or device outside yourself can substitute for the transformation that your soul is called to undertake within. We in the High Council and our fellow light emissaries often caution that placing all your faith in an external savior, be it a savior technology, a political figure, or even an angelic rescue, is disempowering. It subtly reinforces the old 3D paradigm that the power lies outside of you. In the higher reality, the power to ascend has always been within you. Waiting idly for something external to change your life is akin to a student waiting for a teacher to give answers without studying. The learning is never truly integrated. Understand that the coming of medbeds or ships in the sky does not automatically lift a soul into 5D. Those are helps along the way, But ascension is a consciousness shift that each being must allow from within. Some of you yearn for your star family to openly arrive and take you home or solve the world's crises. We know your longing, and we assure you our assistance is ever present, but we cannot and will not violate the fundamental law of evolution. Each civilization and each soul must ultimately do the growing themselves. If we simply removed all obstacles by fiat, without humanity rising in wisdom, the growth would be shallow and temporary. Therefore, beloveds, do not cling to the idea that ascension will come about by purely external means. Do not put off your own growth thinking, "It will all change once the event happens," or "I'll be fine because the medbeds will heal me." Instead, seize the now as the proving ground of your mastery. The outer gifts will come, and you will use them with joy, but come to see them as reflections of the inner gifts you are awakening. Think of the advanced technologies as training wheels. They can stabilize you initially, but you are destined to ride the bike of ascension by your own balance. If you lean all your weight on the training wheels forever, you never learn to ride free. In the same way, do not let the promise of outside help lure you into spiritual complacency. Your freedom, your healing, your enlightenment, these blossom from within. Other beings can assist, but they cannot do the inner gardening of your soul for you. Recognize and release any subtle belief that you are waiting for something beyond yourself to ignite your ascension. The light of ascension is already ignited inside you. Everything else is a catalyst or a mirror, showing you what is possible, but you must claim it and make it real through your own awakening. In truth, every technology or miracle you seek already has its seed within you. The human being is divinely designed as a self-healing, self-evolving, multi-dimensional vessel of light. Consider this. The real medbed is your own light body, the energetic blueprint of your physical form that, when fully activated, can regenerate and heal every cell. The advanced healing chambers coming to your world are modeled after the capabilities latent in you. As you raise your consciousness and attain higher coherence in your energy field, you will find your body naturally beginning to repair itself and even rejuvenate. Your DNA is not a static code. It is a quantum antenna for divine energy. It contains crystalline libraries of light, holding the memory of perfect form and health. When you enter deep stillness, trust in the divine, and remember your true nature, you allow this DNA to unlock its higher functions. Spontaneous healings, age reversal, and extraordinary abilities can blossom from within. These are not fantasies. They are the dormant skills of your species, waiting for the signal of awakened consciousness. Likewise, the true disclosure is not merely governments announcing the existence of ETS or releasing secret files. The full disclosure is the awakening of your own multidimensional awareness, remembering that you are, and always have been, a citizen of a vast cosmos filled with life. It is the lifting of the veil of forgetting, so that you know directly in your heart the truth of your origins and purpose. No external authority can disclose this to you as profoundly as your own inner knowing can. When you meditate or dream and suddenly feel the presence of your star family, when you recall fragments of past lives on other worlds, when a surge of cosmic love pours through you, that is disclosure happening within. It is intimate and undeniable. And what of energy and sustenance? The true infinite energy source is not a machine. It is the spark of source within your heart. When your heart-mind is in coherent alignment with the universal field of love, you tap into an endless wellspring of life force. In high states of consciousness, masters have shown the ability to live with very little food or external fuel because they learn to draw directly from the prana, the divine energy that flows everywhere. Your heart, in a state of gratitude and unity, becomes a portal for this prana. This is the same energy that eventually will power societies freely. What your scientists might call zero-point energy is, spiritually speaking, the energy of God accessible in all points of space. As you cultivate inner stillness and faith, you become a conduit for this universal life force. Beloved ones, all these capacities lie within your being, coded into your spiritual DNA by the Creator. The healing, the knowledge, the power, they are facets of your own soul. The outer technologies and revelations are simply triggers to jog your memory and jumpstart your innate abilities. Think of them as training mirrors showing you what is possible. When you use a medbed, for instance, you are interfacing with a device that works with your light body's intelligence to heal you. Essentially, it is awakening your cells to do what they know how to do. When you see a spacecraft use free energy, recognize that the pilot of that craft is in conscious harmony with the craft, often guiding it with thought and energy. All advanced external tools ultimately reflect an advanced consciousness using them. So begin by advancing your consciousness. Embrace practices that bring you into stillness and alignment. Meditation, prayer, breathwork, being in nature, creative expression from the heart. These open the internal channels to your multi-dimensional self. As you trust yourself more and remember who you really are, an eternal soul, a fractal of Source, you will activate these inner technologies one by one. Over time, you may find you rely on outer tools less, because the power of spirit in you handles things directly. This is the path of the masters that you are all destined to become. Let us speak of the cosmic messenger in your skies, the interstellar comet 3I Atlas, and its role in this grand choice. From our perspective, 3I Atlas is far more than a chunk of ice and rock. It is a conscious emissary of the universe, deliberately passing through your solar system at this pivotal time. Think of it as a giant mirror or catalyst. Its energetic signature interacts with Earth's field and with your individual energy bodies, subtly amplifying what is already within you. It does not bring ascension or destruction in itself. Rather, it accentuates the path you have internally selected. In a sense, as 3I Atlas draws nearer, it shines a spotlight on the inner state of every soul and every society. Hidden motives, unresolved shadows, and true intentions alike are being flushed to the surface under its influence. Have you noticed how in recent months and years, secrets in your world are coming to light at a rapid pace? How the true character of leaders, institutions, even personal relationships is being revealed more clearly. This is part of the effect of such cosmic catalysts working in tandem with rising frequencies. 3I Atlas specifically carries frequencies from distant star realms that check in on how humanity has decided. It will tend to polarize things, not by causing division, but by making any inner division impossible to hide. If a person has been undecided, leaning light at times and dark at others, they may feel an increasing pressure to resolve that conflict. If a government or organization has been saying one thing but secretly doing another, circumstances will erupt to expose that discrepancy. In short, the comet's approach is sounding a cosmic gong that says, no more deception, no more delay. Choose and be who you truly are. For those of you firmly on the path of love and ascension, the energies of 3I Atlas can feel uplifting, inspiring even deeper revelations and spiritual gifts. You might receive sudden insights or feel surges of loving energy as your higher choice is energized. Conversely, those clinging to fear-based patterns might experience its approach as a time of turmoil or intensity, as their unhealed parts are stirred up. Again, this is not to harm, but to offer a chance to face and clear those parts. It is ultimately an act of grace that nothing can remain hidden in the accelerating light. Do not fear these cosmic events. Recognize them as part of the orchestration to ensure everyone is as prepared as possible for the solar flash and the splitting of worlds. The universe is merciful. It sends signs and catalysts, like Atlas, to help each soul see themselves clearly and make any last-minute course corrections needed. Treat this comet, and others that will follow, as harbingers of the new age, bringers of both challenge and confirmation. They challenge humanity to purge what no longer serves, and they confirm that you are not alone in the cosmos. In fact, they carry loving frequencies from your galactic brethren, a reminder that the whole universe watches and supports Earth's transformation. In summary, 3i Atlas does not decide your fate, you do. It simply amplifies the direction you've already chosen within. Let its presence motivate you to affirm your highest intentions daily. If it stirs up uncomfortable feelings, meet them with love and healing rather than fear. If it fills you with excitement, let that joy propel you to greater acts of creation and service. The comet's light is a cosmic stimulant for the collective psyche. Used wisely, it will help humanity awaken faster and more fully. As always, the key is inner alignment. Stay aligned with the love and truth in your heart, and every cosmic wave will lift you higher. The splitting of realities, therefore, is not an arbitrary cataclysm, but a natural fulfillment of spiritual law. There is no single doomsday where one earth ends and another begins in a violent rupture. Instead, multiple versions of Earth are gradually crystallizing into separate dimensional spaces. In truth, these layered realities have been coexisting in potential all along. They are nested within the greater consciousness of Gaia, like different notes within one song. As frequencies diverge, each soul's awareness will attune fully to one note of that song and become unaware of the others. The bifurcation happens as a sliding apart of experience, not as a physical tearing of the planet. You will not necessarily see a dramatic instant split with your physical eyes. The process is subtle and largely internal. You will feel it as an inner certainty that your world has taken a new direction, even if on the surface some things still look familiar. For a time, people of different vibrations may continue to interact, but it will become increasingly difficult to remain in frequencies that don't match yours. Eventually, the divergence becomes so pronounced that it is as if there are different worlds, each one self-contained in its resonance. One person may be living a 5D reality of love and miracles, while another experiences continued struggle, and their paths simply will not intersect. This separation by vibration is guided by higher intelligence with great care and precision. It ensures that every being ends up in the environment that reflects their own choices and needs. To use a metaphor, all students might start the year in one school, but as they specialize, they move into different classrooms suited to their level. They are still under the roof of the same school, the overarching soul of Earth, but they are no longer sitting at the same desk. Similarly, the multiple Earths remain part of Gaia's multidimensional being, but each timeline will be distinct, with minimal awareness of the others. For those who choose the higher path, the old heavy world will fade like a dream that no longer concerns them. For those on the denser path, the brighter possibilities of new Earth will be beyond perception until they elevate themselves. This split is an act of mercy and wisdom, not of divisiveness. It prevents the friction of incompatible frequencies that has caused so much tension on Earth for ages. No longer will the saint and the tyrant be bound in the same playpen, so to speak. Their different lessons require different settings now. As you sense this unfolding, trust your inner knowing. Reality is literally reorganizing from the inside out, following the blueprint of consciousness. You might notice time feeling strange, or the world appearing more dreamlike at times. These are signs of dimensional shifting. Hold steady in your chosen vibration. Know that you will seamlessly gravitate to the world that resonates with your soul. You need not worry about physically going anywhere. The alignment of your consciousness is what transports you. The magnificent truth is that the new earth is already here, occupying a higher bandwidth of frequency, patiently waiting for you to tune fully into it. And the old earth remains available on its lower band for those who are not finished with it. Everything is in divine order. This is how the Creator honors all paths, by giving each its own space to flourish or to resolve. The splitting realities are simply the maturation of the grand cosmic plan for Earth, each soul gathering to the home it has prepared for itself vibrationally. For eons, Earth was a melting pot of energies, highly evolved souls and deeply troubled ones all intermingled, learning side by side. This was a unique and challenging experiment, where light and dark rubbed elbows to spark growth. But now the age of mixed frequencies is coming to an end. The cosmic law of coherence, that frequencies must eventually harmonize with like frequencies, is reasserting itself. This is one reason you see so much fragmentation in the world right now. Long-standing relationships are breaking apart. Communities and even nations are splintering into opposing camps. Though painful on the surface, this fracturing is actually the refinement of light from darkness. It is each photon of consciousness finding its proper band of the spectrum. Those who vibrate differently can no longer easily remain glued together. The energetic tension is too great as the planet's frequency rises. Thus, people with incompatible values or vibrations are naturally drifting apart, gravitating toward others of like mind and heart. What looks like divisiveness in society is, at a higher level, the sorting of souls to where they truly belong. This ensures greater peace and focus for everyone in the long run, because each group can pursue its path without constant friction from the other. You may have experienced this in your own life. Friendships or family ties that once seemed unbreakable may have become strained if there is a big vibrational mismatch. Old roles and contracts are dissolving. Take heart that this is part of the divine plan. Trust that those who leave your life are meant to walk a different road, and that you will reunite in love when you are all in the same frequency again. The end of mixed frequencies is ultimately a relief for Gaia herself. She has held space for the grand experiment of extreme duality long enough, and now she yearns to ascend in her consciousness. By allowing her children to move into different rooms of the mansion, so to speak, she can raise her own vibration fully, nurturing each group in the environment best suited to it. So do not mourn the necessary separations too deeply. Know that nothing true is ever lost. Love that is genuine will bind you across any dimension, and in the higher planes, all souls remain connected. This phase is only a temporary rearrangement, setting the stage for each stream of the collective to flourish without interference. It is light's way of reclaiming itself, photon by photon, gathering into coherent beams after being scattered through the prism of 3D life. From the vantage of the higher dimensions, even the opposing forces that have battled on Earth are seen as part of one divine orchestration. The Light Alliance, comprising benevolent humans and galactic helpers, and the Dark Cabal, the old guard of controllers, appear to be fierce adversaries, and indeed, on the 3D stage they have been. Yet both factions have, in their own way, served the evolution of souls. The Alliance's role is obvious: to liberate, to awaken, to prepare humanity for freedom and unity. The Cabal's role is more paradoxical, but no less important. It provides the necessary friction and lessons for those not yet ready to self-govern. In effect, the Cabal has been allowed to rule over those souls who unconsciously consented to give their power away, thereby teaching those souls through hardship what it feels like to lose freedom. This is not to glorify or excuse the misdeeds of the dark. Rather, it is to recognize that in a universe ruled by free will, even the darkness is used by the light as a catalyst. In a grand sense, both sides have been custodians of human evolution, one by offering love and empowerment, the other by presenting fear and limitation for souls to eventually transcend. Now, at the final choice point, the question for each of you becomes, are you ready to graduate from the need for any external governance? Are you prepared to take full responsibility for your consciousness and its creations? The Alliance has opened the gates of freedom, but you must walk through by embracing your own sovereignty. The Cabal stands ready to continue controlling those who do not yet claim their inner authority, but no one is forced to remain under that control if they truly choose otherwise in their hearts. Thus, the ultimate decision lies with you. It is not a battle between good and evil that determines your fate. It is your own will and readiness to live as a master of your life. When we say both dark and light serve the one, we mean that the Creator allows each soul to learn either through grace or through challenge. The Alliance is the hand of grace, extending knowledge, healing, and opportunity for ascension. The Cabal has been the hand of challenge, reflecting humanity's shadows and giving contrast. As the timelines diverge, these two hands will part ways, each continuing to work with the souls aligned to their frequency. In the higher 5D Earth, you will find no Cabal at all, only beings of light co-creating joyously. In the 4D Earth, remnants of hierarchy may exist, but under benevolent guidance aligned with the Alliance's principles. In the 3D realm, the Cabal will maintain its schooling presence a while longer under cosmic oversight. But even that is ultimately temporary, as all souls under its thumb will eventually heed the call of freedom. We encourage you to zoom out and see that this was never about heroes and villains in an absolute sense, but about each soul's choice. The grand symphony is reaching a crescendo where the harsh instruments fall silent for those who choose the melody of light. So ask yourself sincerely, do I require further discipline under an external authority to learn my lessons? Or can I now lovingly discipline myself from within? Are you ready to be your own guide under God? The cosmos eagerly awaits your answer, for upon it hinges the reality you move into. We have spoken much of choosing and alignment, and here we underscore an essential truth. Choice is not merely a one-time declaration. It is a living, continuous act. It is easy for someone to say, I choose the 5D new earth, or to mentally assert their desire for ascension. But the universe responds not to words alone, but to the energy behind them. Many a soul has proclaimed the light while secretly feeding their shadow. In this potent time, such inconsistencies are being revealed. To truly choose the higher earth, you must demonstrate that choice in every day of your life. It is reflected in the emotions you foster, the thoughts you empower, the behaviors you allow or change. Each moment presents an opportunity to either reaffirm your highest choice or to drift from it. Do you respond to stress with love and faith, or with anger and despair? Do you treat others with compassion and respect, or do old judgments creep in? These seemingly small responses accumulate to define your vibration far more than a single statement of intent. In other words, ascension is an ongoing practice of choosing, again and again, what you wish to embody. This can sound like a great responsibility, And it is. But it is also your great empowerment. It means you are not locked into any fate. At any point, you can renew your commitment to the light and bring yourself back into alignment. If one day you falter or react from ego, the next moment you can correct course. What matters is the overall trajectory of your being. Sincere, persistent effort to live in truth will inevitably raise you up. Think of your energy as a garden. Saying, "I choose 5D," is like planting a seed, but your daily consistent nurturing of love, wisdom, and integrity is what makes that seed grow into a mighty tree. Each morning when you wake, you have the sacred chance to embody the world you desire. Over time, this faithful daily choosing carves out your destined reality. So ask yourself often, is this thought, this action, reflecting the earth I choose? If not, gently realign it. No one else can make this choice for you, nor can you make it once and then coast. But the more you choose from your highest self, the easier and more natural it becomes, until one day you realize you are the living embodiment of that 5D choice. Your energy does not contradict your words. It speaks for you in every interaction that you are a being of the new consciousness. That is when the universe nods and says, "Yes, this one truly belongs in the higher world, because you have proven it through your vibrational consistency." We caution also against the idea that one can ride two horses when it comes to these timelines. The illusion of mixed paths, attempting to live in the comfort of 3D while claiming 5D consciousness, will dissolve. Already the energetic gulf between the old and the new is widening. Many have tried to maintain their familiar 3D lifestyle, habits, or safety nets, while dabbling in ascension on the side. In the very near future, this will become untenable. The differences in frequency will be too great. One cannot keep a foot in each world without experiencing a painful split in oneself. Imagine trying to breathe both water and air at the same time. The body demands you choose one environment to inhabit. So it is with 3D and 5D living. The bridges between the worlds are in place now only to allow people to move across, not to linger in the middle. As the energies rise, those bridges, which often take the form of transitional circumstances or temporary compromises, will gradually disappear. Each soul will find themselves firmly and fully in the reality that matches them. This is why we have consistently guided you to release attachments that bind you to the old world. You cannot take all of your old baggage into the higher light. Its density simply will not go with you. Some individuals might be tempted to think, "I will ascend, but I want to keep my old status, my old ego gratifications, or my material excess." These notions will prove to be anchors that hold them back. The process of ascension is one of pure refinement. What is not compatible with love and unity must be left behind, either through conscious choice or by the natural severance of vibration. The gracious thing to remember is that whatever is truly needed or valued at a soul level will reappear in higher form in the new life. You are not actually losing anything of real worth by letting go of the lower attachments. You are making space for far more magnificent blessings that couldn't enter your experience before. So do not try to hedge your bets between worlds. Commit wholeheartedly to the timeline your soul yearns for. If it is the 5D world, begin living as a 5D being now to the best of your ability. Simplify, spiritualize, and center your life around love. If one attempts to remain half asleep in 3D comfort while reaching for 5D, they will find themselves pulled fully into whichever reality their heart truly resonates with. It is better to consciously choose and align than to be split apart by unconscious indecision. The grace period for sampling both vibrations is drawing to a close. Let your entire being declare one song, one truth. In that clarity, you will move swiftly and joyously into the world that reflects your unified intent. With the divergence of worlds comes a transformation in how communities are guided. In the highest 5D reality, outer authority as you know it essentially dissolves. Beings of that vibration no longer seek rulers or saviors. Each is guided from within by the light of Source and forms a natural telepathic harmony with others. Governance becomes governance by resonance. Decisions arise organically from the unified field of heart intelligence that connects all. In 4D societies, some structure remains, but it is enlightened and collaborative. There may be councils of wise elders or interstellar alliances, but their role is advisory and facilitative rather than coercive. People in the 4D Earth still appreciate guidance and organization, yet it is done with common consent and transparency, reflecting the understanding of oneness that is dawning. Meanwhile, the 3D timeline continues with familiar hierarchies and power structures. Governments, authorities, and rules remain in force for those who still need external regulation. However, even in that scenario, the nature of authority may shift over time as those souls gradually learn self-responsibility. Ultimately, as each soul graduates to higher awareness, the need for someone above them falls away. Consider this progression. In childhood, you rely on parents to tell you what to do. In adulthood, you self-govern based on inner principles. Humanity's spiritual childhood required external authority, sometimes benevolent, sometimes oppressive, but its spiritual adulthood will operate by inner divine authority. So, do not be surprised that one timeline features no power structures at all, another features gentle leadership, and a third clings to strong authority. These differences are simply each group getting exactly what it aligns with. The more a populace can govern itself through love and wisdom, the less external governance is needed. The less one trusts oneself, the more one will attract an authority figure to obey or rebel against. In the new era, only those who still crave or fear external control will experience it. Those who outgrow it will move into realities of true freedom. As you raise your vibration, you will notice a shift in your relationship to authority in general. You cease looking for someone to follow. Instead, you listen to the God self within and naturally cooperate with others doing the same. This is the hallmark of the 5D consciousness that awaits you. What remains, dear ones, is the inner preparation, the training of your light body and consciousness to fully inhabit the new reality. In practical terms, this means developing mastery over your thoughts, emotions, and energy. Begin with emotional regulation. Learn to calm your reactive triggers and return to a state of love or peace more and more quickly. In higher dimensions, emotions are understood as powerful currents of creative energy. By practicing forgiveness, compassion, and patience now, you train these currents to flow harmoniously. Next, stabilize your frequency through daily spiritual practice. Whether through meditation, prayer, chanting, or simply sitting in gratitude, make it a priority to tune yourself to the higher vibration each day. This builds a steady baseline so that external chaos does not easily knock you off center. The light body, your energy field, responds to consistent high-frequency nourishment. Some of you may even notice an increase in bioluminescence in your aura, or a glow in your eyes and skin as you integrate more light. This is a natural sign that your physical and subtle bodies are adjusting to carry a higher charge. Furthermore, begin to consciously work with the power of thought. In 5D, thought and intention manifest reality readily. You can train for this by honing your focus and transmuting lower thoughts into higher ones. When a fearful or limiting thought arises, Do not chase it down its old rabbit hole. Instead, recognize it and gently shift to a life-affirming perspective. For example, transform "I can't" into "what if it's possible?" Or "I fear this" into "I send love to this." Over time, this mental alchemy becomes second nature, and you will find that your very mind becomes a tool of light, effortlessly broadcasting creative positive intention. Connecting telepathically is another faculty to practice. You might start with your soul family or like-minded friends. Spend time in silent communion, sending and receiving loving thoughts or intuitive images. You may be surprised at the subtle impressions you exchange. This builds trust in your innate telepathic ability, which will blossom further in the group consciousness of 4D and 5D living. None of these skills are supernatural. They are your natural birthright, long dormant under the noise of 3D life. As the outer world quiets and you give more attention to your inner world, these abilities will emerge as easily as a flower turning toward the sun. We encourage you to approach this training joyfully, not as a chore. Play with energy. Experiment with visualization and feeling states. Treat your growth as an exciting journey into your true potential. Every effort you invest in mastering your inner self yields great rewards. You are quite literally building the muscles of your light body and the sensitivities of your multidimensional senses. In doing so, you are preparing to live in a reality where telepathy, instant manifestation, energy healing, and radiant health are commonplace. Think of this time as your practice session before the big performance. The more you cultivate these skills now, the more graceful your transition will be. You will enter the higher worlds already fluent in the basics of living as a being of light. A shift will also occur in your understanding of what is miraculous. In the lower densities, miracles are seen as rare supernatural events, a sudden healing, an unlikely protection, a manifestation that defies logic. People seek miracles as proof of divine power because in a 3D mindset of separation, the natural state is struggle and limitation. But as you ascend, you will find that what once seemed miraculous becomes the normal fabric of life. In the higher vibrations, continuous synchronicity, instant healing, and effortless creation are standard, unremarkable occurrences because the veil between spirit and matter is gone. A realized 5D being does not even use the word miracle, for they live in the constant awareness that the divine is present and active in all things at all times. They do not need extraordinary signs to prove God's existence. Their very state of being, their every breath in unity, is the evidence of the divine at work. In unity, consciousness, cause and effect merge into the now. Intention and result flow together seamlessly. You will discover that what you call a miracle was simply the interference of doubt and discord dropping away, allowing the ever-present grace to shine through. In a world of love, what remains to be a miracle? Love itself is the baseline reality. The extraordinary becomes ordinary in the best of ways, not by losing its wonder, but by becoming freely available to all. This is not to say you will lose gratitude or awe. Rather, you will live in perpetual gratitude and awe because the divine will be evident everywhere. Life in higher dimensions is a living miracle, an ongoing revelation of God's glory in every experience. To reach this state, practice seeing the miraculous in the mundane now. Recognize that the rising sun, your heartbeat, an act of kindness. These are miracles already. As you shift your perception, you prepare to inhabit a world where the miraculous is the very air you breathe. In the process of ascending, you will undergo a kind of rebirth. Every ascension is preceded by the death of the old self, not the death of your physical body, but the dissolution of the identity built on fear, lack, and separation. The ego persona that thrived on the 3D drama cannot be carried into the higher realms. Thus, the transition can feel like losing who you thought you were. You may find aspects of your life fading away, roles, relationships, habits, even personal traits that once defined you. This can be disorienting or even sorrowful if you cling to them. But understand, beloved, that what falls away are only the masks and limitations that obscured your true essence. You are not actually diminishing. You are revealing more of your real self. The caterpillar might feel it is dying as it dissolves in the chrysalis, but in truth, it is transforming into the butterfly it was always meant to be. So when you feel the emptiness or uncertainty of shedding the old skin, take heart. This apparent loss is the prelude to a grand remembering. You are remembering that you are a divine soul, a facet of Source, far more vast and luminous than the small identity you once believed yourself to be. The fears, the small stories of not enough, the sense of being separate, those are what cannot enter the higher vibrational fields. And truly, you will not miss them once they are gone. What remains and rebirths is your eternal self, radiantly alive and free. In ascending, it often feels like we are dying only because we are relinquishing the tight grip on all that was unreal. Trust this sacred process. Allow yourself to grieve if you must for the old familiar ways, but also celebrate that you are graduating to a more authentic existence. It is the greatest homecoming, the return to the self you have always been, beneath the costumes of 3D life. When the old falls away, you stand spiritually naked, but finally unburdened, ready to don the garments of light that have awaited you. This is the resurrection of your true identity as a master of light. Embrace it with an open heart, for the reward is beyond anything the little self could ever have imagined. Before the worlds fully diverge, there may come a profound stillness, a pause in the noise and rush of events. Many prophecies and spiritual traditions speak of a lull or a hush before the grand shift, like the quiet in nature just before dawn breaks, or the air's stillness before a profound weather change. In this silence between worlds, you are given a precious opportunity. Use it wisely. It is the calm eye of the storm, where energies equilibrate and everything prepares for transformation. In those moments, focus on anchoring the light you have cultivated. Become a beacon, a steady flame of love and clarity. Practice keen discernment. In the quiet, you can hear the whispers of your soul guiding you without interference. Strengthen the coherence of your heart. Breathe slowly, feel gratitude, and let your heart's field expand outward in peace. This energetic still point is not a void of nothingness. It is a fertile silence filled with the humming potential of creation. It is as if the universe holds its breath in sacred anticipation, a tritone chord softly sounding as each group of souls finds its perfect pitch. There is no fear in this hush, only a sense of holy expectancy. If you find yourself in such a moment, perhaps a day when the world feels strangely calm, or time feels suspended, dive deep into your spiritual practices. Pray, meditate, sing if you feel moved. Imagine all of Earth glowing in a gentle dawn light, each soul poised in the frequency they have chosen. By doing so, you align yourself with the most graceful unfolding of the split. The worlds part not with a scream, but with a song, the song of creation separating into harmonies. Add your voice to the melody by remaining centered in love. This will ease not only your passage, but will also soothe any anxieties in the collective field. Trust in the divine timing and gentleness of this process. The calm is the universe's compassion made manifest, giving every soul a final chance to prepare in peace. Treasure it. Beloved starseed souls, we address you now as the masters of light that you truly are. This grand crossroads is your initiation. You did not come to Earth at this time to save the entire world by force. You came to illuminate the way by choosing your own highest destiny, and in doing so, inspire and assist others. You are here to be a living example, a lighthouse, each in your unique sphere. As the interstellar light of 3i Atlas shines and the great solar flash approaches, the universe holds up a mirror to you. It asks, where do you stand? What do you truly serve? Who are you really? This mirror does not judge, it simply shows you to yourself, so that you may make your final adjustments and declarations of intent. Take this moment to remember in full the truth of your being. You are an eternal spark of the divine, courageous and compassionate, ancient and wise. All the knowledge of countless lifetimes and realms is within you. The choice before you is simply whether to embrace that sovereignty and remembrance now, or to defer it to a later time. We urge you to choose sovereignty, to stand in your power as a creator being. Choose remembrance, to wake fully from the dream of separation, and know yourself as a beloved child of the cosmos. And from that knowing, choose the world that resonates in your heart. The new earth is not a faraway promise. It is a reality being born through your very heartbeat and intentions in this moment. Feel it within, that glow of love, that whisper of unity and joy. That is the frequency of the world your soul longs for. Claim it, live it. By doing so, you become the doorway through which new earth manifests here and now. You have star brothers and sisters, guides and angels surrounding you, cheering you on. We of the High Council walk beside you every step of this ascension journey, albeit unseen to human eyes. We have complete faith in your success. Know that the tests and challenges you have faced were to polish you, and you have all the inner resources needed to graduate into the higher life. In the grand scheme, this entire process is a magnificent homecoming, souls finding their rightful homes in the multidimensional cosmos. We will meet you in the space of celebration that awaits. Until then, hold your light high and trust your heart. The dawn of a new era is breaking, and you, dear one, are the dawn. We love you and accompany you always in the light. I am Mira, and I honor you with all my heart. Farewell for now. We shall see you on the new earth.